Hello everyone, and welcome back to Untamed Chaos. Yeah, this is the first time recording in 2016 because it was New Year's recently, and all of last week's episodes were recorded before Christmas, I think, because I was getting stuff ready for over the holidays, and yeah. So I think last week I did the Emmy stuff, which I did do a bit more tidying up, as you can see here. I actually got this automated, and oh, I forgot I had that running. So yeah, I was automating some more of that stuff for, well, I actually should get that going in a second. Anyway, so I actually managed to automate this. I realized that the side comes in from here, but I could also put into the top for the top one, and the bottom, it has a hopper duct there. I don't think I can show you because of the block sizes, but a hopper duct going up to the bottom. So yeah, I can automate this fully now. I just to finish up, and I actually was going to make some more of those things, the calculation presses. So yeah. But yeah, it's been a while since I recorded. Last week I had the Emmy episode, the Ender Quarry episode, and Finding the Stronghold. I didn't manage to update the mod pack since then. I've just been kind of busy, and okay, so this is done. Okay, so this is kind of cool. If I put that there and put these here, now it's just going to automatically go through and make all of them. So that saved me a lot of time, because I did also do some other Emmy stuff off camera. So yeah, let me just sort that. So, let me see, back to my list. So, yeah, I did that stuff last episode. I have been working on a mod pack update. I actually been doing some really cool stuff with the dragon, but it wasn't ready for this week, and probably won't be ready for next week either, because pretty much will be actually later this week. I'm going to be busy with some stuff, so I'm probably going to pre-record stuff for next week so I don't fall behind. But yeah, I have moved the quarry, and oh, did the quarry finally end? I think it might have, but as you can see by the chest there, I have... Oh my god, it's actually just a few short of being full again. That has so many stacks. It can hold over 4,000 stacks and it's almost full. But yeah, I had to give it its steel and emerald upgrade and its diamond upgrade. I had to upgrade this so many times because I just got so many stone from the quarry. And yeah, you can also see a lot of chests here because this is the ores chest. Oops, that's not the ores chest. I'll get to that in a second. This is the ores chest for the quarry. And so is this one. And this one. And this one. I have a lot of ores to work with, but before I do stuff with them, I actually want to do... Well, before I actually process them, I'll do that off camera, but I want to do something with them this episode, which I'll get to in a second. But, yeah, another thing is I grinded up my tools off camera. I've been working on the bolts here. They just take a while, because like I said, I had to wait for them to replenish back to... 219 there, then use them, then wait for them to replenish sort of things, but I am working at getting to the Grandmaster so we can get the final damage modifier. I also have been working on these, and this finally hit Grandmaster, so, let's see, it's Obsidian, and you also can kind of see some of the resource changes, and Ender Pearl. I think that's it, or actually it's one of each, whoops. I was actually thinking of the Void Stone, I think, but if I take this here, put that there, ta-da! Now it has its final beheading. Currently, it's beheading, okay, currently it's beheading 7, now it's beheading 8. So that's its max chance of beheading. And as I said before, it's not 100% chance because that's kind of bugged, or the tooltip doesn't reflect the changes I made. But yeah, it has a very high beheading now. And it still gets one more modifier with its Notch Apple one. So, yeah. But anyway, I trained up the tools off camera, and as you can see in here, I got a lot of stuff. Pretty much, on Christmas, I did actually just set up the grinder, so I was swinging sort of thing, like, set up my little... I think I mentioned it before, but back in Ascension, I had an S macro. So instead of S going backwards, I changed it so it would swing, and I have a keyboard that has, like, the ability to customize keybinds and such. I did a macro so it would constantly press S, so it would just constantly swing for me. And I did that on Christmas when I was doing other stuff, you know, just like around the house or Christmas stuff. So my computer was getting me all this stuff during that, and also training tools. And this was actually some of the rare drop table stuff I got. I think I'll just summarize it briefly. Pretty much there's a rare chance when a mob dies, it gets a rare drop table drop, which is a big table of a whole bunch of stuff I made. And this is what I got from mob grinding. So, some nice stuff. Unfortunately, I didn't get any really rare stuff, but Notch Apple's always appreciated for how much they are. Also, I did get a lot of taint stuff that I have to take to the tower. This stuff kind of explodes if it's in your inventory. Do I have the aspects? Oh, I actually don't have the aspects for the goo. Oh, I do. Just wasn't showing. So, yeah. But I think that's all here. Let me just set my notes. Oh, also, is it here? Yes, I made an item collector just because pretty much the grinder was just filling up my inventory too quickly. I also probably made some more obsidian chests, and I really need to make more obsidian chests, barrels, storage upgrades, and chests because I'm running out. But so what this does is it picks up all items nearby or drop within its range and puts them into a chest, or the chest it's connected to. So that's how you make that, and that's how you make that. And I also made the item filter for it like this, so I could say exclude stone swords and bows. So it helped keep track of all the stuff at the grinder. So yeah, I think that's about it, and also the ME Drive stuff. So let me just double check my notes. Okay, so I think that covered most of my notes of what I've been doing, but pretty much I've just been working on a lot of stuff. I also collected the quarry while I was checking notes because it was finished. But yeah, I quarried more. I think this is the second time I moved it, but yeah, it's just draining so much power. I want to try dealing with that sometime soon. I had to upgrade the stone barrel. I trained the tools. I got a whole bunch of the loot from that. I made the item collector and the filter. I made the more ME drives, and I automated the inscriber. I already showed you all the chests of ores, and I'll be dealing with that off camera. I also want to open all these loot bags, because I did talk about the Winter's Day ones as well. I don't know, maybe, I think I'm going to head to the field and just open a couple of these, just so we can see if they're different than the normal ones, because I never opened a large Winter's Days gift, or at least not recently. So let me just open a couple of these, and, oh, creeper, come on, please, drop the gland. I've been so determined to get this last gland. Oh, darn. So, let's see. Oh god. This is actually not good. Oh, okay, so, oh god, it's setting the whole forest on fire, isn't it? I'm not sure if I can stop this. This is bad. Fast leaf decay. Come on, come on, come on. No. Oh, I think I saved the forest by cutting down 2 trees. Oh, thank God. Yeah, that would have really liked the world if it started burning all of that. So, well, that was not a very nice present. I think I want to go to a different area where there isn't a whole bunch of flammable trees and open the rest. Like, I don't know, the mines, maybe? On second thought, I decided to hold off on that because I was kind of getting distracted there, and I still have to get through some of these notes and such. But yeah, I'll try and open this stuff, at least all the Thaumcraft bags, and put them in chests, kind of like I did the episode, and the Winter's Day gift. I might try and save a few more of these to open on camera just to see what the good rewards are, but I'm pretty sure that's the only bad one, or it's just going to spawn a whole bunch of the stuff that the bad ones were for the Winter's Day gift, it seems. So I'm assuming the good outcome's about the same, only with loot. I don't know, we'll find out at some point. I might do it later this episode, but yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention was repairs. So I forget which one of these were new. I think this might have been an old one. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, this one got Bane 4. So pretty much what I did is I made a whole bunch of new longswords and rapiers, and was training them when I was doing this stuff on Christmas, in addition to the cleaver, the bolts, and the shurikens. So I was trying to get some with good random modifiers, and pretty much the trick I was using is if I make it out of, as you can see, like all paper, the tool rod didn't actually matter, but as long as it was paper, it had a very low experience gain rate, or it only required very little experience to level. And with the rapiers, I could have them broken and just swing and deal 1. I think it did also work for the longswords, but anyway, so rapiers actually had the lowest level. For some reason, they require less damage than longsword, probably because they are supposed to deal less. But yeah, here's what I got. So this is a longsword of max necrotic. I also was using slime at times too, but mostly I just stuck to paper. So yeah, max necrotic, that was pretty powerful. Then on this repair, I got necrotic and critical chance. I think this is the first time I got critical chance too, because you can only get this modifier as a random modifier. There is no way to add it to a tool besides its random modifier, so that's very powerful. These are all Grandmaster, by the way, so yeah, I spent a lot of time. I'm not sure if some of these are, but like all the ones I was trading are. I was trying to just get like pure necrotic on a repair, but I don't think I ever got it. This one got Bane of Arthropods, so I stopped because I thought if I just was killing spiders with it, it had an increase or might have an increased chance of getting further Bane. So that's why I just stopped it there. This one, so pretty much these are the great ones or like the perfect ones. These are okay and these are not so good. So this got a Jagged Necrotic, Necrotic Beheading, Beheading Necrotic. The Smite I added myself. This got Blaze and Necrotic, Blaze and Necrotic. 2 Smites and Beheading, which isn't bad if I want like a very Smite longsword, so that's pretty close. Or, you know, it's 1 modifier off full Smite, so I'm okay with that. This one had 2 Smite Necrotic, but I already added Quartz to it, and I realized that's kind of not good, because if I want a Smite weapon, I probably shouldn't have Quartz on it, but that's kind of what I was doing there. Pretty much I tried a lot of different things, which is also why that one had Smite on it. And this one has 2 Blaze and Necrotic. The other ones had 2 Necrotic. And these have, I'll just mouse over these real quick and not go over them. But these are like knockback and just very odd, not really like consistent random modifiers. Not really like horrible, but yeah. But while doing that, I realized something. If you apply sharpness to a tool, it does up the experience needed. But if you apply something like Smite, it does not. So that's another exploit I could try later. So pretty much it means if I make like a paper Smite longsword and go and kill zombies, I'll gain a very fast experience. But it won't up the experience needed like if I did with sharpness. So that's what I did with the tools. I already covered the ores. And I didn't actually show you the ME stuff. But before I get into that, I want to mention something at the start of this episode, and look how sidetracked we are. But yeah, so what I want to mention is in yesterday's update vlog, I kind of did one for the start of the year, going over my channel and that sort of stuff. But in it, I did mention how I decide when I'm going to be wrapping up the series. It's going to be on episode 100, because currently we're over 50 episodes in, and there's still a lot I have to do, but I feel that episode 100 is a good place to wrap up the series. Because, well, one, I never had a series go to 100 episodes, so I feel like that's a good accomplishment or milestone to end it on. And, yeah, I just want to kind of get to the point now where I focus on finishing the goals, or making goals and finishing them to kind of wrap things up. So by episode 100, I am ready to end it, and it's not like feeling incomplete. So one of the things I have been working on is making a list of goals. And what I want to do is I want to make another clipboard like this. And this I actually forgot to clear from last episodes. Whoops. I want to like label it like different sections of the goals, so to speak. So this might be like blood magic, then I list all the blood magic stuff I want to do by the time the series ends, or stuff like that. I don't know. But I might even like nickname the clipboard like series goals or something. But that's just kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. So I have a lot of ideas for different goals I could try, but I kind of need some time to formulate them and make them into a good list, like which ones I actually think are feasible too, because there's some goals I would love to do, but they might just not work. Let's not head up there. That would probably cause bitrate stuff too. Don't really need to be up there. But anyway, so if you have any suggestions of goals you want to see me do by the end of the series, let me know, and I'll try and add them to the list. I would say the list will be done next week, but since I already said how I probably will be recording next week's episodes a bit in advance because I'm going to be busy next week, well, it might not be the following week, but I will go over the list once I make it, and probably have another episode like this where I spend the first like 15 minutes going over stuff like that really doesn't, or isn't really as much content and just more talking. Anyway, so okay, those are done. I think that was everything this had to set, or I had set there. Words. Sorry, I'm just so rambly or having so much to go over. I kind of hate when I do this, but it's kind of needed at the same time. But as you can see, I kind of set this up better. I have the cell workbench here. Got the automated stuff back in there with that. I kind of receded this better into the floor and just kind of got all the ME stuff a bit better sorted, I guess you could say. Crafting, or not the crafting terminal, or, well, that is a crafting terminal, but the ME controller down there. And as you can see, I've been busy preparing a lot of ME drives. These are all 16K drives. So, yeah, that's a lot. And, this is a 64K. But I didn't stop there. This is a 256K. Now, one of the goals I know that I want to set for the series is to make a max tier one. And so this requires, or a max tier, so you can take these and upgrade them to that, and to that, and to that, and to that. So that is a 16 megabyte drive, which in realistic standards is actually very, very tiny, but still. That's more than I probably would ever need. To be honest, these are probably more than I ever need, because I actually did check, and I think it's 1 byte is not 1 item, 1 byte is 8 items. So each one of these 16K drives can hold a total of, 131,000 items. Only of 63 different types, but that's still a lot of items. So the reason I made these, though, this one is going to be for stuff like stone, because as you see, I have a lot of stone, stone, cobblestone, dirt, anything that's going to be a single resource that takes up a lot of space. And this one's going to be for ores, because you saw how many ores Sakura gave me, so I thought it was worth getting a 64K drive just for ores. The rest of this stuff will probably be uncategorized, but one thing I do want to work on this episode is actually getting that sorted, using that and other stuff. And as you might have noticed, I'm not sure if I actually showed it at all earlier, right before I started recording, I ran an ME cable down here so I can access it from here. And I was actually thinking of transferring all the stuff in these chests into this episode. So yeah, I think that's about all I had to cover at the start of this episode. But yeah, so pretty much I quarried, I did a lot of work with the ME system, I leveled tools, and the series will be ending on episode 100, and I'm working on a list of goals. If I just said that at the start, this would probably have been a lot smoother, but oh well. So yeah. Also, I think I actually want to do this first, just so I actually get something done this episode. But I realized something really cool when I was doing Ender Dragon stuff, actually, or preparing that. So, I actually forgot to put a torch back here. It was there, I believe, because I had to come through the wall when doing... Anyway, so remember this book, Wrath? I had no idea what Wrath did. Now I know what it does, and it is freaking amazing. This is pretty much sharpness. A second sharpness. So if a weapon has sharpness 5 and wrath 5, it essentially has sharpness 10. So yeah, I really want to make this book a wrath 5 book. So let me just get to level 40 a few times, clone the books a few times, combine them and all that, and then I'll cut back to when I have some wrath 5 books, because I want to apply it to this. So yeah. Okay, so a few things. First is that, sorry if I've been talking a bit loudly. I got new headphones and I'm still getting used to them. They're upgraded my old ones, but for these, the ear pads aren't like completely deteriorated, so they still have like padding to them. So it throws off the sound a bit differently from what I'm used to hearing, but pretty much it's how it's supposed to be sounding, so I just have to get used to it. So it makes it a bit weirder to record. I'm not used to how my voice sounds and the sound I'm hearing, so I might be talking a bit louder because of that, and just because I'm bad with keeping my voice down, I guess. And the other thing is, I forgot to mention this week's theme of episodes is, also I got the book, that's the other thing, and this took a lot of work, because I've renamed this to Bloodblade real quickly, because I realized it's getting very costly, as you can see. So, loud vehicle. So, pretty much as I keep applying stuff, the cost keeps going up, so I named it so the cost for repairing it, or just or using the anvil with it, that also counts as repairing even if I'm not repairing it, doesn't go up. But yeah, we got that, and now it's 24. It's nearly as strong as this now, and it gets the ability of enchantment. So pretty much Tinker's tools might not be that great when I have stuff like this, because not only do I have, well, pretty much this is just beheading, bane, smite, luck, and a lot of damage, but this has all the same damage, and it has execution. It also has the same looting, so really just lacks the beheading, bane, and smite, and a bit of damage, but the execution will make up for that other time. So I could probably make a very good enchanted sword now that I know that wrath is sharpness. So yeah, but anyway, like I was trying to say there, starting to say there, the theme for these, the episodes in this week are kind of themed after odds and ends, because as I said, I'm working on preparing the list, but until I do that, I don't really have like a big theme for episodes. And also in the update video the other day, I mentioned how I have been considering cutting back. I decided for the moment not to, and just wait until after Untamed's done and probably cut back for the next series. But one of the things that has been a big problem with me for time is just all the stuff I do off camera for this series, like well, processing all this, getting all this stuff, training all the Tinker's tools, that just takes a lot of time. So, I don't know, that's kind of another reason why I don't have a lot of stuff ready, is I just didn't have a lot of time to do a lot. I spent hours off camera doing, like, all the ME stuff and all this stuff, and I just don't have a lot of stuff ready to do like a proper episode like I usually do. So that's another factor. But yeah, so for this week, it's just kind of odds and ends, just little things that I just feel I'm ready to do. I pretty much just took a list of a whole bunch of stuff I've been wanting to do and just kind of threw it all together and then say, okay, this is what I think I'm ready to do this episode right before I did the episode. So yeah. But we made the Wrath book, and I do want to do the ME Drive stuff, so here's what I'm going to do for that. So before I can just use my ME system, I need to partition some of the drives, and I think I know an easy way to do that. How I do it is I just remove all these drives, I'll just put them in here, and pretty much now anytime I put something into it, it will only go into that one drive, the big one there. So if I put these into it, and I take it out, and I go over here to the cell workbench and put it in, I can just say partition storage configure based on the items it currently has, and it will now configure for this. So I actually think if I went back and put it here now and tried to put in these, it would not let me because it already counts this as being full because I say it cannot contain any new items. Even though it's only using one of its item types and barely any of its storage, it can't get any more because of how I configured it. Although that's using a lot more bytes than I thought. Huh. But anyway, so that's what I want to do. So for the moment, I can just click that to remove it. Now, if I put it back in here, it should accept any items. So it still had those in there, but now it will accept any items instead. Actually, how much bytes does this use up? Okay, that's a lot more bytes being used than I thought. I think it might have like a base byte or something, because, that's a lot. So, I don't know, maybe it takes up so much just for adding a new type of item. I'm not sure exactly. I thought I knew a bit more than I did, but apparently not. So, that is the big drive. The 256K one, which took a lot of time to make. I made that earlier today, too. So, what I want to do for that is all of these materials, like the common materials that I have to use a barrel on, I'm going to put them in here, then I'm going to go partition the drive. So, let me just cut till when I get that sorted. Okay, so I think that's all the common items I want to put in for now. I did remember to include sandstone as well, and I did also make some of the more condensed cobblestones. So I can always add to it later, and yeah, that just seems like it's taking up way too much of the space for how much I thought. But now if I do this, it copied all that to it. So later I can go back and add more. I even could go like this to add an item manually. So I don't have to put the item on here to get it to work. But now that is configured to only those items, so it won't accept anything else. Like I can't put this in there like I demonstrated earlier. So now if I just take all this out, I take out this drive, it is now partitioned properly. So if I put that in there and get out the 64K one, now I'm going to do the same thing, but with all those ores. So pretty much all those chests of ores I'm going to throw in there. Hopefully I don't run out of room, and then I can partition it. So yeah. Well, I think this is the best example of the full power of an ME system. All those chests full of ores condensed down to a single screen full of ores here. All those stacks and stacks of coal ore I can now see as a single stack of 5,000. And if you look here, it did take up 53 of the 63 different item types. I'm not sure if there are any other ores, but as I say, I can always add them in. I don't think there's more than 63 different types of ores though. But as you can see, it only takes up about half the storage size. So yeah, all those ores, only half of this. So I will process them, so I don't think it's going to be a big enough issue to the point like I need a bigger drive just for ores. Although I probably will upgrade it a size later. But now if I copy this, all the ores are saved on here. And I'm not as worried about ingots because actually I just thought of something. If I remove the ores, will it allow something in? Hold on, let me try with this. Because I realized I removed all the ores, so is it still precise? Yes, it is. Okay. Whew. So, let me just double check by putting in here. Yes, it is. Okay, so I was worried for a second that was a partition not to include exactly. I think it says precise because of some ores having different IDs or something like that. So, yeah, so if I put these in here, now I have all the ores in here, and I can put all these drives back in as well. But yeah, so now my ME system is set up pretty much how I need it. I might need a second drive, just more of these 16K. I think that's the best size I'll need, because as we can see, all those ores are only 30K. So I don't think I'm going to need more than that for most of the other items, because they don't get to that absurd of stacks like 5,000. But yeah, for ingots and stuff, I can always usually condense them into blocks, so I'm not as concerned about that taking up a bunch of space or needing like a drive dedicated to just ingots or blocks. I could always partition more in the future though and make them. So yeah. All those chests gone, and I did also change it back to how it was, so this is the main ore chest now, and that's set to just an any chest. But yeah, I'm not sure how exactly I want to move stuff. Like, I could just try moving all this stuff into here. I might just get the export bus and set it to just, like, transfer everything out. I don't know. But for the moment, I'm just going to leave it like this, and I will decide how I want to move the items into the ME system for when we want to take it to the tower. I will probably do that off camera. I was considering like setting up in the tower as an episode, but I don't know, I just feel like that's going to be a bit boring and just not very interesting. Like, I already made a whole bunch of crafting terminals. I'll probably need to make more. And just pretty much putting the items in the tower just seems a bit boring and like trial and error to get it how I want it. So I'll probably just do that off camera. Probably not by next episode or even next week, but eventually. I don't know, maybe even by next week. I might take a bit of a break between this recording session and the next one to do stuff like that. But yeah. So anyway, I actually think I'm going to wrap up this episode here. Sorry if it was a bit not interesting, because I spent so much time talking about stuff, but well, sometimes I just have that stuff and I don't want to not tell you guys about it, and it just takes a bit of time for me to say it in the right words. So yeah, but hopefully you enjoyed this episode either way. And as a quick reminder, once again, so yeah, the rest of this week will still be little odds and ends, kind of like the stuff in this episode, only with a lot less rambling and talking at the start. And yeah, I am planning to end the series on episode 100, and if you have any suggestions of goals I should work on before then, let me know down in the comments. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode, so thank you all for watching. Until next time, goodbye.